on this computer. All right, here we go, guys. Video number 2. Okay, hopefully you watched the first one. If not, go back and look under the start here, and it's the welcome video. Watch that to make sure you have the right books and all that good stuff. This one is going to be dedicated on how to use the book. Okay, and I'm not going to go through any coding per se examples, but I just want to walk you through how to go to the front of the book, to the back of the book, and that type of thing. There are, I do believe, some hints inside each of the questions in the module that will help you out with that respect, as far as root of operations, which one you should start with, that type of thing. But the ICD-10 PCS book reads like the ICD-10 CM. In fact, that the index is in the front of the book instead of like CPT in the back. So I have the 2021 version because I have not gotten my 2022 yet. I'm waiting for the bookstore to get it in, so when I get to campus, I can pick it up. Okay, so the manual of which you're going to be using your 2022 PCS book. Okay, now if you haven't gotten it yet, you can buy the 2021. I don't care. You don't need to have the 2022 to take your test for the RHAT, because you do not take books into the RHAT exam. They give you all the information and you need to code. So they give you all of the options and they format it like the book. So that way you don't have to take books with you. Okay. So anyway, so if you haven't bought it yet, by all means, you can get the 2021. Okay. So in the front of the book is the alpha section. Okay, so you want to look up what you're doing. All right, so let's look up appendectomy, because you know that's a procedure, because again, this is a procedure book and not CPT or diagnosis. Okay, this is actual procedures for hospital. Okay, so appendectomy, and we have appendectomy, and you have excision appendectomy or resection appendectomy, appendix, either one. Okay, so appendectomy, you're going to get an ODB or an ODT. Okay, so let's go to excision, because usually they do an excision one, but I would say resection might be because they're using a scope of some sort or something like that. But anyway, let's look at first ODBJ. So back of the book where all the colored marked sides are, these colors, okay, you want to go to ODB. Let me make sure. Yeah, ODB. So ODB, okay, and it's 0. So it's actually 0. So 0 for medical and surgical, D for gastrointestinal system, and B for excision. And then you want to go down and see what body part, which obviously we want to go to. Let me see if there's a second page here. No, there's only one. Okay. Appendix, which is J. So under body part character 4, you notice there's 2 columns in that first box. Okay. Now, J is your appendix, and then you have to keep adding to your code until you get all the way over to the 7th character. So this is where your approach is really important. If we did a laparoscopic, then you're probably going to do the percutaneous endoscopy or via natural opening. So that means that this case, you're probably not going to do, there isn't a natural opening that's going to get you to the appendix. So it's probably going to be maybe a percutaneous endoscopy if it's a lap. Okay, and then you go over and do your 6th character, which there's only one option, is Z. And then the qualifier for the 7th character, which again, is it diagnostic? No, because you're taking it out. So it'd be a Z qualifier. Okay, now these boxes are really important because where you see the line in the graph, you cannot go below it to do any of your characters. So if you're doing a code, you're doing a character on box 4, you have to stay within that grid. You cannot go down to look past those lines, if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so your only option for body part 4 for that first box is anything that's open, anything that's the option next to it, all the straight across. Okay, so if we did, I think it was ODJ, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on a second, let me look. The other option, no, was resection. Now, obviously, if we're going to take it out, we're not resecting it. And this, it comes into play when we're talking about the definitions of these root of operations, because they don't mean exactly what CPT means. So you really have to keep that graph or that diagram of the definitions close to you when you do the root of operations to determine which one you're actually doing. Okay. I'm scamming here to find my other code that we looked up in the front. Without having to go back and look again. Reposition, resection. So it was, I think, an ODT resection, if I'm not mistaken. So if we did 0 medical, D gastrointestinal system, T resection, and went down and tried to find our appendix, which would be a J, okay, on character 4, then we'd go over and what was our options. If it's endoscopy, then you do percutaneous endoscopy because you can't do a via natural opening, and then you do a ZZ for the last 2. Okay, so it's really important that you look at the front of the book to get to the back of the book, so you don't get off, and make sure you really look at those root of operations definitions that I gave you in the course, and it'll be in mod 1, and it's only in mod 1. So when you this week, make sure you make a copy of it so that you have it. Those definitions are also found in your PCS book in the back of the manual, coding manual as well. And there's also information in there about devices that I pulled off of the CMS website. So make sure that you take a look at that too as well. Those are really important in determining exactly what is constituted as a device, okay? Because that gets really tricky, okay? So if you have any other questions, please let me know. Again, table of contents. Okay, so I probably should tell you, the table of contents is in the front of the book, and it has exactly on page small I, it actually gives you all of the appendices in the book. And it gives you appendices for the body parts in case you, and that might come into play if you have a body part, you're not sure what you should use in substitution of it if it's not listed in the matrix, on the matrix in the back of the book. Okay. Root of operation definitions are back there again as well. Let's see, device clarifications are back there that you might want to read up on that before you get started, so that way you don't get on the wrong footnote. Again, look at the device load that I have in the computer too as well under your module resources. Let's see, I don't see anything else in here that really is relevant. So, okay. If you have any questions about how to create a code, because that's what you're doing, you're coming up with the base and then you're creating the rest of the characters in that code, and it has to have 7. Okay, there's no, okay, sometimes I'm gonna have 3. No, it's always gonna have 7. So if you don't finish the code, it's not correct. Okay, yes, you will have sometimes where you'll have more than 1 code. I'm going to be very honest with you. There might be times that you might have 3 or 4. Usually I let you know, give you a heads up when you do those homework assignments to let you know that, hey, this one has 4. Make sure you watch the hints because those are there for a reason. That's to help you learn how to code. Okay. If you have any questions, please let me know. Email me through the course, and that way I can get with you and we can get it straightened out. We can meet via Zoom. Okay. Have a wonderful week, and welcome back.